Welcome to this. You should know this. We're going back to Lonesome Dove real quick. I need you to watch this movie or read the book. I've tried to tell you to read the book. I'm trying to not have spoilers in this. Don't Google it. If you Google it, you're getting spoilers in the first paragraph. Okay? After you watch it, you can Google what I'm talking about if you need to. Some of it's personal memories, but it's a fantastic, fantastic work of art and you need to check it out. I'm going to give you the background leading up to Lonesome Dove filming. Okay, this is enjoyable stuff. This is part of my childhood too, but I need to get this out there. You millennials and stuff, you're going to have these feelings later in life. You'll understand someday. You're just going to have to sit through this one. Okay, here's the book. It's still available on Amazon. I recommend you read it before watching the movie. You can still really enjoy the miniseries. You can really enjoy it without reading the book. But my dad read the book after it had come out and heard about it, and it got the Pulitzer and everything. And the controversies showed up. They said, "Oh, this is plagiarism. This is a true story. You plagiarized a true story." But anyway, he forced me to read the book. And the reason I'm so adamant about spoilers is Dad accidentally threw a spoiler at me 2 pages before I got to it. So I'm not going to give you a spoiler without a warning. Spoilers are coming later, but not right now. So he forces me to read it, right? And then they announce the casting for this movie. And some of it, you Basil Palladores. He passed away recently. He was the composer for it. This is just an amazing. People who have watched this miniseries are hearing the music right now in the back of their head, and they're ready to watch Gus and Call go on this adventure. Right? That's my chair. I'm sorry about that. It's a really neat looking chair, but it makes noise sometimes. Basil Palladores is he did basically the soundtrack of the '80s. This is a posed picture of him. I don't know what year, but I looked through his movie list. There's a couple of unknowns, and then he did the movies of the '80s: Blue Lagoon, Conan the Barbarian, Making the Grade, Conan the Destroyer, Red Dawn, awesome movie, Protocol. I'm gonna do a Red Dawn video. Flesh and Blood, RoboCop. I might do a RoboCop video. Cherry 2000, Wired, Farewell to the King, Hunt for Red October. Might do a video on that. Quigley Down Under, Flight of the Intruder. I want to do a video on that one. That's a really good movie. Serial Mom, Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book, Breakdown, Starship Troopers, and For Love of the Game. That is a truncated list of Basil Palladores' amazing work. But they cast the movie, and they cast D.B. Sweeney as Dish Boggett. D.B. Sweeney, he'd been some bit parts, and then he played Shoeless Joe Jackson in Eight Men Out. It's a good movie. It's a drama, period drama with neat costumes and everything, showing the 1919 Chicago Black Sox betting scandal. It was a good movie, so yeah, you can sit through that one. But we're like, yeah, he's old because Dish was supposed to be like 17, 18, greatest horseman in 6 counties. And okay, I guess he's old, but okay, I guess. And then Cherry Valance. How are you gonna put Cherry Valance, the redhead Soch from The Outsiders, as Lorena? She doesn't. It wasn't feeling right. But then they showed up on our screens, and it was love at first sight. We could not get enough of Dish and Lori. But the other ones, it was supposed when Larry McMurtry wrote it, he had already had an Oscar-winning movie under his belt, Last Picture Show, and he wrote a epic western for John Wayne. As I think John Wayne was supposed to be Woodrow Call, and Jimmy Stewart was supposed to be Augustus McCrae. John Wayne turned it down. They say Howard Hawks, or one of the directors he palled around with, talked him out of it. But he was very old, and I don't think he would have enjoyed doing a movie where our heroes are frequenting prostitutes and some other things. If you watch John Wayne's biggest movies, the cowboy is the hero, and then there's super evil, and there's no really in between. This isn't Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, they were the anti-hero and they were some monsters in there. High Plains Drifter. But they turned it down. It was going to be Sidney Poitier as Dietz, as Josh Dietz, and Henry Fonda as Jake Spoon. John Wayne turned it down. It sat in oblivion for a while, and McMurtry took it back, made the novel out of it, got the Pulitzer, and the executives said, "Hey, this will make a neat show." So they got the green light to make the show, and they announced the casting for this, and me and Dad lost our muffins. We were so unhappy. We had to go to the library to look up these names. This is back in the olden days, back in the 20th, before the interwebs showed up. You had to rely on your memory or go to the library and search through the card catalog to find out what the heck is going on. And I mean, we were freaking Dan Tana from Vegas. Yeah, he's kind of a shifty type of private eye. Jake Spoon, I don't know, but Spencer for Hire and Dan Tana, I don't think it's gonna be right. I don't like that. I don't like that. And then some of y'all were saying, well, the guy from The Godfather. Well, yeah, we barely had that in our minds because all of the amazing characters in The Godfather, he was one of them. It did an amazing performance, but there are so many amazing characters in The Godfather, we didn't remember that. It wasn't front and center of mind. He and oh, the fugitive, Tommy Lee. No, you're forgetting. You can't time travel. This is before the fugitive. Sorry, I had to cough there a minute. Before the fugitive, Tommy Lee Jones was virtually unknown. We had to look up who he was pretty much. He had some bit parts and whatnot. So we're freaking out. We're the great Santana or Santini, the abusive Marine who abuses his wife and children because he's angry that he doesn't have a war. Amazing performance. Very good drama. It's definitely worth sitting through to see, a warrior without a war, and Duvall did a fantastic job at it. But this is not Gus McCrae. Gus was a fun-loving man, and Carl was really the abusive husband from coal miner's daughter. Yeah, I kind of remember him being in that. If you had seen the movie 20 years before, it wasn't front and center in our minds. I don't know who Tommy Lee Jones is, and Robert Duvall. He stood there. He pretty much just stood there. He didn't have a lot. He just stood there. How you gonna make Gus McCrae, talkative man of the world, Gus McCrae, and then Danny Glover? Oh, I I guess he's old enough to play Josh Dietz, elderly freed slave banker scout. Okay, I guess. But by the end of the first episode, we were all in, just fully invested. We apologized to the ceiling that we had screamed at. These were the perfect casting choices. They were a bunch of except for Danny Glover. They were some has-beens. Spencer for Hire had been canceled a few years before. These are has-beens talking about the better days, the adventures they had had. It was beautiful. It was perfect. Tommy Lee Jones saw his career explode after this movie, or this miniseries. Robert Duvall made it to the forefront. People finally saw how great of an actor he was. Yeah, he was good. He already had an Oscar. He had an Oscar as an abusive husband 10 years before, 5, 6 years before. Yeah, he had a few things. This was his iconic role. This one made them legends. You need to watch the show. I can't I can't tell you anymore. I'm wore out. It's past my bedtime. Like, share, and subscribe.